What's good? I'm Nomad the Native, and you are tuned into The Snippet, a comfortable spot where we let the art spark the conversation. I link with artists, and we take a deep dive into the emotions and context that drive our creativity. So, join us as we connect, collaborate, and converse here on The Snippet. Hey, what's good? I'm Nomad the Native, and this is The Snippet. So, welcome. My boy.
What's up, man?
What's your name, brother? What's your name? Introduce yourself.
What's up to the good people? I'm Brian Brown, but the good folks remind me to BeMo, like a reminder, BeMo.
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 My nigga.
My man.
Thank you for coming through, bro.
Man, thanks for having me, man. I don't get to be a guest often, so I appreciate being seen.
Yeah, I'm used to you being the host of things. We can get into that in a second, though. The show's called The Snippet.
Yeah.
So I got to play a snippet.
Please.
My nigga.
Please.
Before I get into it, what's this joint called?
This is Fall Alone by Tashira, recorded live at the Small Wooden Box, 9/25/2021. This is her original song, backed by Micah Robinson and an amazing band. So let's just get into it and we'll talk about it, if that's cool.
All right.
I've been bruised enough. I had you played for your love. Yes, it hurts, 'cause I've been through too much. Oh, I'd rather fall alone. I'd rather trip on my own time. Calamities all around. Why do you bring me down? Summer is changing so quickly this time. I'm gonna leave you behind. If you can't change with the wind, this is the end. I was so blind at the time, 'cause you were on my mind. Was it a crime at the drop of your diamond leaves? Only to carry the weight of a lie. Crush when I realize. Crush when I realize.
Every time, bro. Every time, man.
I'd rather trip on my own time. Calamities all around.
Look, man.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, man.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna need her information after this.
That's Tashira. Tashira, she from around here. That's at Urbane at the Small Wooden Box. Urbane is a concert series I had for a while that celebrated the intimacy of music, really trying to get people to fall in love with the authenticity of like great music.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sent you that clip and that snippet in particular because I feel like that represents the best of what I think what I do, which is produce great moments for great people to really get involved. Like great stories through song, great music through like technicality and skills.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some of the best musicians that I have interacted with here in the city. And so when I had that event and I was able to record at the Small Wooden Box, which is a place that no longer exists, I don't know, just beautifully captures what I think I can contribute to at least the musical scape of creativity. And I'm not on the track though. Like
Yeah, no, but like, so, and I forgot to ask you before, like, what you know what I mean,
Yeah.
to like kind of lay out what you do, but you did great by just saying that, because Curator just doesn't really do a good enough job at describing the way that you show up in spaces. It's just the best word that I've come up with. You know what I mean? It's the best word that I've got, but man, I really enjoy the fact that you kind of approach life and art from the perspective of bringing people together in some way or another.
Yeah.
Like, what got you into curating, and what kind of curating do you do? Because you do a couple of different types of things.
I do. So I like to, as far as the curation world goes, I just like to provide space for people who I consider to be like talented. So like that might show out to be a magazine, that might turn out to be music, that might turn out to be a play, that might be a podcast, that might be a skit on an album, like that might be having a pop-up studio for a while so people can do their own events in their actual space, like providing space in the actual literal space world. So I mean, I feel like I just curate space, like wherever, because what happens is I see people like you, right? And it frustrates me when I see the margins being formed around you and then people don't have the education or the passion to try to break those margins. So I'd rather be the greater fool. And here's what happened, to answer your question specifically. In fourth grade, this is what happened. This is the lesson I learned.
I'll be your therapist. Come on, let's do it. Let's get into it.
In fourth grade, there was a talent show after school. It was the YMCA had the aftercare talent show. And in fourth grade, I did like this, I'm going to show you how old I am. I did like this Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin physical comedy routine, right? I had like some Scott Joplin painting in the background, and I had like this fan. And like I was pretending that this fan was like this tornado, so I was like flipping all over the ground. I was doing all the shit, right? There were 12 kids in the talent show. I placed 13th.
What?
I got absolute, I didn't even get like an acknowledgement. It was like, yo, Brian performed. It was like, all right, cool, that's it. And then like they didn't even call me up to end as a participant of the talent show. That's why I said I got 13th. So I was like, okay. The next year, Steel, the movie, had came out by Shaquille O'Neal. And I noticed that, the white boys were getting popular, like the NSYNCs and the Backstreet Boys. So I put together my 5 white friends and had them write a rap, and then I had them perform that rap at the 5th grade talent show. We won. Pizza party, got it all.
That's crazy. You ever seen Atlanta?
Yeah.
You found 5 young white avatars. That's crazy.
Well, I was in Jefferson City, Missouri, so nigga, I was the rarity. I was the rarity.
Hey, yo.
So I put these dudes together. They performed the song. I ran that same strategy again later in the year for the school talent show with these white girls and this one black girl, and they sang the theme song to Titanic, and we won that joint. So, like, when I think about, like, okay, I have talent, of course. Cool, I'm talented. I have a perspective. I think I'm funny. But, like, I don't know if people will really understand me. But what I am good at, though, is filtering whatever my talent is, whatever skills I see in other people, and putting them together for something that other people can enjoy, like, on a mass level. A lot of people, like, find, like, album cuts, all that shit. I'm a single guy. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I can find your single. I find the radio cut. I find what makes most people feel a certain way. So that's how I started with curation. It's like devoiding myself of talent, which is one thing, but like the more powerful thing is I feel like I can really direct a mood, direct a story, direct a feeling.
That's crazy, bro. That's a crazy story. But like that sound like a superhero origin story. Like this is how I became the curator that I am today.
BeMo's here. Give me 13th place, nigga.
Never again.
Never.
Oh man. Okay. So like that makes me think about, we've had conversations in the past where you brought up that you want to be like Quincy Jones.
Oh, absolutely.
And like I want you to talk about that a little bit, because like I think that's a really interesting perspective. Most people want to be like Michael Jackson. They want to be like, you know what I mean? The star, the superstar front person.
It's even funny you say Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson is not the Michael Jackson that we know without Quincy Jones.
That's why I said what I said, brother.
Like there is Berry Gordy, who started a genre, who created a system of music through Motown. And questionable ethics, right?
Yes. To say the least.
And then you have our recently expelled brother, who was in his R&B lane. You know what I'm saying? He was manipulating people, but he had a whole musical,
conglomerate,
based on him. In the middle of those, I feel like is Quincy Jones, somebody who is an actual trumpetist, trumpetier. Plays the trumpet. Trumpeter? Whatever. Right? And the story of Quincy Jones is Quincy Jones had an aneurysm when he was like 27. And the doctor said if he played the trumpet again, aneurysm will pop off in his brain, so can't play the trumpet no more. So how does Quincy Jones, devoid of his own talent, still create a musical landscape, a musical legacy without using his own talent? And that's how I land on Quincy Jones.
Using his taste to guide others.
Exactly. And so like one of the first albums I heard that was really formidable to me was Quincy Jones's Juke Joint. When I was a kid, I used to listen to it just to hear Shaq rap. Now that I'm saying Shaq twice, I guess I have an affinity for Shaquille O'Neal. But anyway, I used to listen to the Quincy Jones joints just to hear Shaq rap. But then as I get older, then you hear like You Put a Move in My Heart by Tamia is on that joint. You got songs by Brandon, which is on that joint. You got Let the Good Times Roll, which is a homage to the old blues and the new blues, the new blues, which is in the 90s. So like I'm hearing that and I'm like, oh, I could do this. I could put together a combination of artists from a select place, I don't know, let's call it Washington, D.C., and say,
sure,
hey, you got a great song, you got a great song, you got a great song. What happens if we put all these things together and we can like curate a sound, curate a mood? And I don't have to, all I have to do is get you together. I can Nick Fury this joint, you know what I mean? All I got to do is, hey, come on, brother.
You don't got to do none of the superhero antics. All you got to do is just be like, I can connect you with you and you and you, and then y'all go in this place.
Right.
And do the thing.
Do the thing. Do the thing. And I think I'm uniquely equipped to deal with the non-beautiful parts of music business in a way that I think is respectful of the humans who make art, which is why I can't be like Diddy. Now I gotta say his name like that. I can't be like him. I can't, because he would take somebody who would produce drums, a nigga who would stay up all night looking for a particular sound for a snare, for that to be one part of a drum, and this nigga would say, you just a drum engineer, I'm the producer. That's so inhumane. That's so gross. I couldn't.
Hierarchical. I mean, and like power structures, people like to form their own power structures in order to like uplift themselves and put and aggrandize and acquire whatever, power, money, booty, whatever. But like, so like I get why people do it, even though I don't necessarily condone it or agree with it. But I respect you because of the way that you navigate, and you're intentional about like, I gotta show up this way. I gotta respect. I have to communicate. I have to, all while also getting the job done.
Right, got
to effect.
Got to.
I'm looking forward to working with you like more in the future, because like we already got work that we're working on now, but like I'm very much looking forward to continue to work with you, bro. Like,
same.
This is why you on my show.
I bet.
Speaking of shows, so I think I met you at One Love Massive throwback. I feel like I met you at One Love Massive the same day that I met Lydia.
Yeah.
Who's like a longtime collaborator of yours.
Yes, it is.
And I think it was planning around a podcast or an episode of a podcast or something. Yeah. But I feel like you've had like Wake and Bake with BeMo. Mm-hmm. You're currently doing the re-up. Mm-hmm. Like, what? How does podcasting and hosting, and because this is you being a guest is a rarity.
This is very rare.
So like, how does hosting come in and podcasting come into your curation?
It goes back into the same thing of like just trying to provide space for folks to express themselves. To be honest with you, I didn't realize how much hosting meant to me until the pandemic, when I couldn't host the show. Right, well, I couldn't legally host the show. Well, I couldn't host the show, or nobody was calling me to host the show, and I realized how much I missed talking to people in that host capacity. And so that's kind of what started Wake and Bake with BeMo. It's just like, let's just jump on the live, and me and Imani will have a conversation like we usually do every morning. We invite other people in to have that conversation, and they give space. And it's so crazy when you enter it through the perspective that you want to provide space, not create content, not even like make a podcast. We had a whole 60 episodes season that we never recorded. It's just literally on Instagram Live, and I checked the other day, and like Instagram Live did some update. We can't even see them joints no more. So like the whole when you do something to create space, what we ended up doing was creating a community.
Yeah.
And that community creates the new Blueprint newsletter, which has 1,000+ subscribers. It creates the Parlors, which has like 200 entrants so far. It creates opportunities with like larger brands, which we did something with Google for a little while, which we were teaching them about Blackness, which is all comes from, we're just going to talk about Blackness as a community on Instagram.
Yeah.
So like, to your point of like, where did the hosting come from? It's just another tool
for you to host space and community, foster community. I feel that. I was thinking about this earlier because we were talking a little bit like before we actually got into it, and like I'm not really like, I'm doing this podcast and I'm not even really into podcasts like that, right? Because it's not even about like making a thing like, or like seeing other people doing like, oh, I could do that. It's really like, I think that there's some interesting people in my community and my network that I want to be able to like shine light on,
right?
And have interesting, and even provide them platform. Right. As much as it's like, oh yeah, no, this is an opportunity for me. It's like, it's an opportunity for like the homies that I have who create really good fucking music.
This is true.
And you know what I mean? To be like, hey bro, come and like get some content.
Yeah.
That way we can share that, and like you have an opportunity for people to connect with you in a way that maybe you haven't had that opportunity yet, or you know what I mean? You don't really get that opportunity. So it's like, I feel that like connecting from the perspective of a service, and like
this recording thing is so powerful.
You think so?
I know so. Like, it is as powerful as writing. Like, a couple of things became clear to me. I had one of my first clients passed. Bad mental health, you know, she went that route. I have a video of her and an audible recording. We spent thousands of dollars to get, you know, equipment into heaven and hell so we can get everybody recorded in a live situation. So when she passes, and I have this video and I have this audio recording, and it's her singing Mona Lisa, which is a song about how beautiful she is. And it's like, it's a beautiful video, and I send that over to her family. It's like, that's when I know how powerful this is, because she's not here. That moment is forever. That moment is, well, at least in a digital sense, like they can live with that forever. Had I not recorded that, it would just be a memory.
It would just be a story to tell.
Remember that time she sang that song?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like we can see her sing this song. Even the song I played for you just now, like,
it was a moment 3 years ago.
Yeah, the place where that existed,
it doesn't even
no
exist
longer
anymore.
exists anymore. So like having that forever in this like digitized moment is so priceless to me. It's like, I get why you're doing this, because even if 6 people see this, this needs to be recorded in time so it can exist. Not even so people can see it, so it can exist. It's more like it's a humanizing type situation. Like this my man is humanizing me right now. He's singing me. Like my birthday party was this portraits, because I wanted people to be seen.
Yeah. I really enjoyed your birthday get together. That was fire, by the way. It was fire.
Good time.
You know what? And like writing is just recording. You know what I mean? Because you're talking about how like this recording is like writing. It's like you're just recording in a particular media, a particular format. It's like a permanence.
It is.
There's a permanence to it.
And that's why I fuck with the cassettes. Because the cassettes is like you're literally burning something onto material.
A physical medium. Yeah. I just feel like as much as I like the physicality of something, the way our technology and the way our culture engages with technology continues to like,
it does.
It's a culture of obsolescence. Like we make things obsolete as quick as possible.
That's true.
When can I? But I mean, that's a lot of. But that also speaks to the fact that we're innovative.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least in spirit, we're not always innovative in practice, but like we're very innovative in spirit, and like sometimes that means that thing that you grew up on is just a memory.
Yeah. That's, I mean, to take it back to Quincy Jones, that's the heartbreaking affair of wanting to be Quincy Jones. That Quincy Jones music industry is dead. It's gone.
It's heartbreaking. So I got like one last question.
Okay.
And I've been thinking about this just in general.
Okay. I love thoughts.
So I've heard that the projects that we take on in life define our life. Like, you know, and it doesn't always mean like literal art projects or whatever, but like, you know what I mean? Whether it's building a house or a project for you is, I'm gonna learn these languages. Projects are just the things that we dedicate our time to accomplish and enrich our lives for one reason or another.
Yeah.
And they define our lives. How do you feel the projects that you've picked up and you've undertaken define your life? What do you think the projects that you do say about you?
That's I love how you frame that, because every morning I read from my journal where I have like 5 or 6 goals, and they're essentially like long-term projects.
Mm-hmm.
Get a Peabody, get an Emmy, late-night television show, become a husband and father. And I loved when you were asking the question just now, but my mind immediately went to the project of becoming a husband and father.
Mm-hmm.
How does this, that does like, I've never thought about how like the what you do does define you, but I had never like thought about it in totality about what I'm doing and how it defines me. And it actually, that kind of scares me a little bit.
Mm.
To the point we having an off mic conversation about how I'm afraid to take shrooms, I'm afraid to meet myself.
Yeah.
You just made me meet myself just now.
Mm.
That was interesting.
I am the shrooms, brother.
You are. Damn. Damn. Wow. How do I feel like these things are defining me? Woo. Scarily so. Like, I'll put it this way. If I met me, that nigga would scare me. Like, why do you know that? Why are you so invested? And what are your intentions? That nigga would scare me, because like, why do you care so much? That's the thing that would define me, is like, you're not from here. You don't know these people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have sacrificed things that I won't even say for the benefit of these people. Why do you care so much? I don't even have an answer for that.
Mm.
But that would be the thing that would be, that's how I would describe. Like, you have a unfathomable, almost unnatural passion to the point that it makes me skeptical. But maybe I'm in a skeptic place.
Should I be worried about working with you, nigga?
I don't know. I don't know. And should you be worried? What a question. Naturally, yes.
Should I be worried for you? Not even worried of you.
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure.
On some real nigga shit, like no,
because what something happens when you get it.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be that guy, but I have lost 3 Emmys now. I've been to the Emmys. I have watched them not call my name 3 times now. I imagine something happens when you get it, whether it be a reaction or whether nothing happens. Like, there is something after that point. And what I do fear is, what happens if we get it? What happens if we get it? What happens if it blows up? What happens if version 2 makes it to the top 100? There will be choices that we have to make that keep us from being Berry Gordy or Diddy, that keep us in the Quincy Jones space. But I'm fucking poor. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like you asked me off mic, like, if I was a rapper, how would I navigate my career? It'd be easy to do that in abstract. But the moment we get it, what happens?
Yeah, because like when I be thinking about that sometimes with music. Like when rubber meets the road, and like cause like it's easy to be like, oh man, when I get this opportunity, when I get all this money, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. But like like when the opportunity comes and you start to really have to like weigh, like, all right, I may not, like I have the opportunity to like make a whole lot of progress, and that may be at somebody's detriment. That may be at them. I may have to leave somebody behind. It will. Yeah, like, because there's an exchange.
Yeah.
There's an exchange, and like, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for me on a moral, ethical, spiritual level? What does that mean for me to succeed in spaces where there is an exchange and possibly, and even if it just means I'm hurting people's feelings, maybe not like outright harming them, right? But like I gotta break it to you. We've been homies. I gotta break it to you. You know what I mean? Like you're my peer and I respect you, but I gotta break it to you, or I gotta outdo you. I gotta hurt you, and it's like. Part of me's just gonna have to burn that bridge when I cross it.
Boy, but that bridge, man.
Cause I can't. You know what I mean? We're not there yet. But I feel you. It's like that questioning almost feels like a fear of success. Like when I step back from it, when I step back from the visceral like concern of, am I good enough? Am I going to be a good enough person? Not even am I good enough to do it. Am I going to be a good enough person when I get to that spot that I'll be able to reflect back on myself and be like, I'm still proud of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I told my kids all that I've done, they'll be proud to say that he is who he is, or they are who they are to me, or I am who, you know what I mean? Whatever. But also like, if I step back from the feeling of it,
yeah.
you know what I mean? I can't worry too much about what tomorrow holds. I'm still here today. And today, I want the Emmy. Today I want the Emmy.
That's right.
I want the Grammy.
Yeah.
Let me chime in real quick.
No.
1 sec. I only got 2 questions. I'm gonna make it quick. You remind me of like a chef, and I guess the question is, do you think talent is a ingredient, and you provide the recipe?
Damn.
Well, I think talent is an ingredient and I provide the recipe. No. Talent is the whole thing. Talent would be the recipe, the process, the ingredients, preparation, styling, plating. That would all be talent. What I would do is bring niggas who's hungry.
Oh, made a D.
What I do is provide a kitchen.
How would you describe? Well, I think your talent is intuition.
Okay.
How do you skillify that? How do you produce?
Intuition.
How do you process that? How do you get better at that?
Oh, there's a pattern. Once is, oh man, hold on. Once is a hunch, twice is information, three times is a source. When I was learning to be a what they call a trends forecaster in the digital space, there is a intuition to it. There is a curiosity factor. There is like a constant investigation factor to it. So I would say curiosity and study create the parts of intuition. Trusting that intuition and putting it into action is a formula, which is if you see it one time, it's a hunch. You see it twice, that's information. You see it 3 times, that's a pattern. No matter how you see it, if you understand it to be within that pattern, that's how you create it to be a skill. And then the skill part actually is application. So like, just because I know it's gonna rain every other Thursday, don't mean shit if I don't apply it to something for me. If I'm not putting out rain buckets every Wednesday night, then
if I don't carry my weekly umbrella,
if I'm still getting wet on Thursdays,
what does it matter that you know it's gonna rain if you're not doing nothing?
Right.
So is it 3 points of contact for you to develop that intuition for the individual, or can you do it?
So when let's see here, I heard Mahjong for the first time at a show that Nomad hosted, the one at the Pocket. You were on stage. That's the first time I heard it. And I asked you about it. I was like, what song is that? And he's like, it's Mahjong. Then I went home and listened to Then I started singing it and putting it on it's like number 9 on my About to Get It playlist. You know the playlist you play in the morning. It's like, oh.
Time to get active. It's time to get active.
A bunch of crack songs on there. But then you got Nomads on there. So like, those would be my 3 touch points. We're like, okay, this is so much part of me. Why not do something with it? We know it's gonna rain.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get the umbrella. And I know this nigga, so let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was a good question and a good answer. Damn. You got any other questions?
He said we had to rap.
I'll take it down. BeMo, I want you to kind of give an honest reaction when you see something.
What do you got right here?
What
do you got right
My
here,
producer has done her own research. I can't speak for what's on the phone.
I want you to give whatever you would say to the person in that picture.
Little Brian Brown. That's middle school me. In Missouri. That's that middle school boy I was talking about.
Hey,
the big
man.
headed boy with that yellow coat. What would I say to him?
Say it to him.
I can barely look at this dude, man. Don't believe him.
Don't believe who?
You know who I'm talking to. Don't believe them. They are lying to you. And you know it.
My nigga.
Yeah. I'm
Just-
good?
Yeah, just. Oops.
Yeah. My bad.
My nigga.
My bad.
This wasn't a clip. This wasn't a sample. It's the snippet, baby. Peace.
I'd rather fall alone. I'd rather trip on my own time. Calamities all around. Why do you bring me down?
Hey, yo. Hey, son. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if so, then comment, like, subscribe, follow, disagree, whatever. I mean, this is a show by the artist for the artist. So, if you want to be featured, just hit us. There ain't nothing but an email or a DM away. Until next time, peace.